and pay safeguard.
No player in history has shown the devastating level of performance and power that Simple unleashes on his opponents. Yet ever, the adage remains true. The best player does not beat the best team. Individual greatness is on display every time the Ukrainian enters the server. But trophies are what he hungers after now. Once a one-man team, Navi has developed into a squad who complement the game's biggest gun. You can set your watch by the consistent play and style of Electronic. Flamey no longer bears the burden of the spotlight and plays many roles for this squad. Zeus and Edward bring major winning experience from CS 1.6 and look to help Simple win his first in CS:GO.
And that Navi just got dealt a rather painful uppercut from the Finns. ENCE have managed to take the first in the series, and we're still processing this information. Likely, so are they. I do have Thorin and Sponge joining me at the panel, but guys, we knew ENCE were already surprising. We've seen them even beat Navi in a best of one. You know, what is a best of three if not you get to see the best of one? But this has happened again. It's Dust 2. It was somewhat of a curveball. You did highlight that Navi had some faults on the map, Duncan.
Sure.
But they put up a fair fight, and this was impressive.
Yes, obviously it's not a map that's a strength of Navi's, but they're the better team. So you'd expect, you know, they have Simple and the better team. This should still be fine. They definitely have some massive flaws with their CT setup. I mean, as people have pointed out in the past, when you put your in-game leader anywhere towards long there, they can be massively exploited by the terrorists, and Zeus does not particularly get off well there. But one of the factors that I don't think you could have anticipated if you're Navi is, it's Sergei that's been having all the highlight rounds in this tournament, has been carrying. You don't expect Alu to come out and have this massive carry performance.
All the memes are coming alive. God, Alu's back, easy for ENCE. It's all coming true. But that playstyle I was talking about when we kicked off, before we even were speaking about the Vita really in depth, the fact that Navi just love to buy, you can see how volatile that is. Sure, it works fantastically in certain scenarios. It got them going within that first half because they were just willing to buy as soon as they get, you know, enough money in the bank. I think they had one true eco. The rest, they're constantly investing and making it very difficult. But in the later stages, after Alu had won that clutch, after Alu had won that 1-on-4 situation, had the ace in that scenario, killing, I think it was Electronic as the last guy, they then opted to force buy again. Their money was broken. That late in the ground, it's like, okay, if you do that, you understand how much of a risk this is. You're giving them to tie it up at least 14-14.
This was a round that, you know, really put ENCE as well back into the driving seat. You know, you talk about that force buy. This, another example.
Well, obviously the first couple of kills, it's not really that big a deal. You know, there's so many Navi players, they think we can take this fight. You know, it doesn't matter. It's only towards the end that you start to realize Alu's actually going to do this.
As soon as you get to pit with the AWP versus a rifler, that's like a 80-20. Like, unless the rifler hits like an amazing shot or has a smoke to get on the bomb or something like that. That late in the game, he took the gamble, figured he wouldn't have a smoke, and just able to take a pop shot onto Electronic on A ramp. Easy.
Quick follow-up though. Why was he so trigger happy with that Molotov? He was running to pit with it. As soon as he hit the shot or fired the shot, he pulled to it. Like, what were you going to do? He hasn't got an arm that strong.
It's very alluring to use that to kind of stop or delay a little bit of time, right? Knowing that you have that, the idea of being able to throw it at any point as a player, it's like, I can delay a bit of time here. But at that, you don't even know where Electronic's coming from, right? If he had come out long doors or something like that, it could have been all over.
Yeah, it was a bit of a gamble. But either way, Alu, I just want to read out some of his stats for you guys that didn't quite have this gorgeous information in front of you. 8 multi-kill rounds, 32 frags, close to 100 ADR, and he was 6-2 in opening duels. So he was actually opening up, I mean, on doors, he was hitting a fair share of shots as well. Any kind of your summary of Navi's performance here as well? Yes, Simple on the top, but, you know, was there anything...
Even so, not that spectacular this game.
Was there anything missing? Do we just have to say, well, Simple wasn't carrying enough, or is there much more to it?
I think there's two factors here. One, aside from, even though obviously Alu did in fact do it here, I haven't actually seen on the new Dust 2 the factor that the old Dust 2 always brought, which is if you had a Shox or a Kenny S or a Guardian, you just knew they were going to go off and take over the game. Simple, actually, in the games I've seen him play with Navi, he's been fairly muted on this map. I don't know what it is about his position, where he plays on the map. And then on the other side of the equation, part of the problem that Navi's had on their T-sides is they are one of the teams that love to force spy all the time, but generally, I mean, there's stats out on the internet, they're pretty good at it. They win like 60, 65% of the time when they do it, but that's based on maps they're comfortable on, because that Zeus style of play is based around being able to know which site to go to at the right time and hitting at a certain timing, and they didn't have any of that feel on this map, I felt. So I felt like it's actually a mistake to maybe go with that.
Yeah, and quite contrasting, of course. We did just start with Dust 2. We do have Mirage now, and a perfect opportunity for Chad to go ahead and give us a couple of tidbits, a couple of nuggets of knowledge about Zeus's team, and the map Mirage.
We're going to head over to the lovely screen. Alex, we're going to check this one out. I have a couple of points that you were just mentioning. So obviously for Mirage, they keep that duo together of Zeus and Edward over towards the B bomb site. They do get bullied from time to time, so that's something that Navi have to address, and they tend to send Simple over there with the AWP. That bleeds into point number 2. Simple, you know, he doesn't go window. It's one of the things which he tries to avoid. A smoke or a Molotov is coming there 90% of the time. He knows he needs to go connector, needs to jump down into mid, needs to play more towards catwalk. Third point here, we already saw that in the first game, how they love to just keep buying, you know, keep force buying, get the scouts up, whatever they can afford, keeping pressure on the economy that way. Worked for them in the early stages, fell apart in the later stages of Dust 2. And then Mirage, for these guys, it's their highest win % map on LAN in the last 3 months. So this is their best map. And the 34% after they receive the first death means, look, they're trading out onto bomb sites efficiently and then able to close out. And that's pretty high. When you look at FaZe and you look at Astralis, they're both hovering around the 35% mark as well. And I think they're the benchmark of teams on a map like Mirage.
Can I add a pinch of salt to point number 4?
Yes, sure.
They have been padding somewhat with some of these, the more like the Asian tournaments where they are playing some of these lesser teams. I think they're...
Sure, but the thing is, they also do get forced on the Mirage a lot. Like, you know, the mouse spots of the world, the phases of the world. These teams do also play. So I'd say, actually, if you look at it overall, it's probably a pretty legit one, I think, actually. Unlike where, for example, at the Major, when they had that insane similar streak on Inferno, that was kind of whack. You know, a lot of it was like DreamHack Winter and stuff like that. Yeah. So there are times, certainly.
I have all their victories recently. So Envious, they beat NIP, NRG, Mouse Sports, SK, Avantgarde. They lost to Mouse Sports at Star Series Season 5, but they later beat them in the same tournament. Then the likes, so okay, they beat Vici. They did lose to Tyloo. They beat FaZe. They beat Heroic.
So there is an element of that in that stat. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll bear that in mind. But I want to make sure we do get just at least a little bit of an understanding of those win conditions for Navi. You made it clear that, Simple is going to be bullying them, and certainly not from window. But just a couple of extra things to add to that list, Duncan, if you wouldn't mind, as to why we might see that third map.
Sure. Well, this is one of the maps, actually, where Navi looks very comfortable on their T side. Like you mentioned there, on the CT side, they have an obvious flaw with Zeus on B, but actually they cover that by having Simple rotate over sometimes. So you can't just gamble that he's going to be there and isolate the B site. So that keeps teams a bit honest, and you can at least grind out your CT half. On the T side, this is another map like Inferno where Zeus just plays the patented starts, really slow setups. You actually probe the whole middle of the map and you only decide at the last 20, 30 seconds as to which site you're actually going to. So it can be tough for the CTs to do it because he's looking to catch out the rotation. You know, he's not just going to blindly go onto the site and run into a gamble stack. So if you're ENCE, you have to at least figure that Mirage was going to come up in the series. You know, you're not banning it yourself. So hopefully they've done their homework and then perhaps they can actually exploit that, especially because players like Sergei, people aren't going to know their tendencies.
Sure. They're not looking into them in the same way, right? These are guys, we always have this when one of these teams pop onto the scene. We had this with Rez at IM Oakland last year. It's a similar example, obviously not to the same caliber just yet, but they are being very impressive in this tournament. I think if you look at when these guys beat Mouse Sports on Mirage yesterday,
yes,
Sergei went ham. He had 32 kills. He was plus 18. Sure. He absolutely beasted it up. So for him to do that again in this pressure environment will be very impressive.
And that's what I'm so interested in because, God knows, when I was 16, the pressure of this, you know, coming into a tournament, not only against names you've admired, but also the fact of the matter is there's a lot of money, there's a lot of team pressure, as in, you know, you are a star, we'd like to see you do what you do online, and the fact that this is it, one map away now. If he doesn't crumble into that, that's the signs and the makings of a player we'll be seeing for a very long time.
Sure, yes, certainly he's got a chance to really like put a big stamp on this tournament. Obviously, if you 2-0 all these great teams, it'd be amazing. With that said, surely Simple's going to turn up at some point in the season and show us why he's the best player in the world.
It's time to see what Navi have got, what Simple has got, or will ENCE, this Finnish underdog, continue to be the Grim Reaper of the lower bracket?
That is the big question. We are right underway. Navi up on the T side, ENCE on the CT side, leading by a map. but this is Navi's den. Their recent results say as such. They have 6 map wins in a row on this online, offline. It doesn't really matter. They are very good at this, but there's going to be some eyebrows raised if ENCE make a statement early on.
Oh, hell yeah, there would be. Now, Navi's taking over control, or have they? Sergei, 2 quick shots. Edward and Zeus down. It's Electronic and Flamey. The only 2 left. They do get the bomb planted, but this is a clean sweep. All 5 players survive for ENCE, and they collapse entirely on that hit towards the A bomb site, taking no damage from the aggressive push towards jungle, towards window room, and not too getting fancy with his fist bumps. What the hell?
I don't know what to make of this. It's first round. I'm going to keep saying this until we're at the end, because this isn't a bad map for ENCE. It's still a fine map for them, but it's certainly not what Navi have in store.
No, well, yeah, that's the thing. If you're going to compete against the top teams today, you have to be able to play Mirage. Like, you just simply put, you have to be able to play it. Everyone likes it. So ENCE with the pistol round win. That is all 3 pistol rounds so far being played that have gone in their favor. Now the Deagles come out. They did lose one of these second rounds to Navi on Dust 2. Simple's under a lot of pressure. He's going to go down. Sergei wants none of that. He's got 4 kills already in these opening 2 rounds. And he's going to back away with that advantage. But Alexi B, he's also going to fall back towards Catwalk, meet up with X7 towards this B bomb site, be able to secure things. And this is a ENCE defense at the moment that is looking for whatever information they can find, and they're getting more than that.
Certainly is. Sergei feeling like maybe he's got the hot hand here, wants to take another fight, flashed in towards middle, but forces Zeus back a little, does give Sergei the angle at least to play off, but he does get tagged up and might be humbled a little bit there, doesn't want to overextend. You don't want to give things up here. If you do have that lead, keep running it, be smart about it.
No, every death that ENCE takes in this round would be not a disaster, but it would be very costly. They've got 3 M4s and a FAMAS. Those aren't cheap weapons to invest into. Ariel's the only one with an SMG, so you don't want to be giving away free kills in this kind of a scenario. Alexi V going to go for that peek. It's against the P250, still finding information, still having an idea of what's coming. Now Edward has been spotted as well, who's come up from underpass, so they have an idea, at least 2 players in middle. Now they should see all 3. Sergei's called it out. He's got 3 kills, in fact. There goes Alexi B. Not the biggest loss. That's the FAMAS. But if you're ENCE, there's 30 seconds of the clock. You don't actually have to do anything. You don't actually have to chase down fights.
Electron's heard this, and we've seen what he can do with a CZ. Let's see what he can do with P250. He can do a lot, apparently. Ariel just got battered. Strong old backhand on the boy. What is that? 2, 3 kills in the end for him. But you kind of get reminders. Like, okay, guys, let's just not.
Yeah, that'll put you on notice. It's a 5-on-2, and all of a sudden you lose 3 players down the stretch. That shouldn't be happening. They've taken a UMP, a FAMAS, and an M4. We're all lost in that exchange, and we're going to get that early 3rd round buy from Navi off the back of the plant in the pistol. And because of those losses, it's another heavy reinvestment for ENCE. Running low on funds. No op this time on the 3rd round on Alu. Oh, they're headed towards the B bomb site, Lauren. This is just going to be a straight bully attempt.
Smoke's pretty deep on that. Electronic slips his way forward. He's ahead of the rest of the pack. Lovely spray control at the end. I don't know where that headshot came from, but he's seen more now. He's down to 10 HP. He might just try and get traded on, try and play his teammates in. He does have Alexi B on short. Alu's on the way over as well. Zeus hasn't fully committed with him, but he's close enough by. That nade could do huge amounts, and it does do pretty nicely. Flamey on the worst end of it. X7 still very relevant here. Somehow staying alive 4 HP, and the crossfire's holding up. This is a little flat from Navi. Through the wall, Alexi B bangs him out. Zeus, your last man alive. And my word, this is scary.
That was on a knife's edge, though. That is a huge opening kill for X7 just to keep space in front of himself, just to give himself time and his teammates time to lob the utility in to slow down that hit even further. That push isn't necessary when you have only the 4 health. Zeus is going to take him out. A very unconvincing early buy for Navi. 4 players stacked up in those B halls, no finesse to it. You want to talk about having young players, and I know they touched on the desk, and we've talked about it a little bit, kind of the nerves and keeping your composure. Having a win on the first map in such a close fashion is going to really lighten things up. All of a sudden, you start to feel like you can compete with these guys. They've been proving it to themselves, proving it to the viewers and us as well throughout this event, and just one more task that it looks like they're rising to meet.
The old discussion of the fear of a name is certainly present for anyone when you play against the like of Simple, but then, as you said, for ENCE, these young players against the likes of Navi in a tournament like this, this isn't just your online matches, this isn't just your online games. It does become a little bit scary, but they are as highlighted, rising above and beyond the occasion thus far. And you can talk about players maybe benefiting from having good starts individually, a couple of eco frags here and there. This is a good start you want for these guys, feeling like they've got the game just working for them, and that's the sort of shot that does it. And yeah, that's not a happy simple.
Not a happy simple at all. Didn't pound the desk though, didn't break the monitor, didn't snap the headphones. Yeah, that'll come later.
It's only 3 rounds.
3 very nice rounds from ENCE. Deagle's out on electronic, goes for that early peek. They've actually got 4 Deagles surrounding the AK-47, which is still in Zeus's hands because he's got the armor. This time Alexi B is far more closely aligned with his teammate in that B bomb site. Navi spread across the map, trying to take some of these long-range fights, trying to win some with the Deagle. The AK-47 is on the ground. Sergei's got one on the Flamey coming up A-ramp as well. Navi again just kind of swatted aside.
They haven't had much step, really. They've been struggling to find that way through. There's not been an easy way. You saw the tag on Alu coming up from Simple, trying to pry for a little bit of something. Didn't get anything out of that either. Ariel needs to be very careful in middle now. There are 3 players coming his way. He doesn't have any instant support, but he does get the information, falls away from that, calls for the teammates. They should prepare themselves now. Smoke goes up, and there it is. This makes it very tricky.
That's very cool as well, like not using those smokes until you have the information that they're coming in this direction, that you need to use them. ENCE is doing a very good job of peeking for information, but not committing to the fight immediately. That's a good response from Electronic. 1 kill goes in their favor, and he's picked up the AK-47, but he can't complete it onto Ariel, down to 5 health. That's 4 rounds in a row now for ENCE, and almost at the full losing bonus is Navi. They're going to buy here. Again, though, they're going to be 1 round away from the AWP. Simple's going to have to go down to that AK-47. Zeus going to the UMP to be able to get the utility needed. It's not quite... not dangerous in terms of the scoreline so far, but I mean, at least ENCE in these first 4 rounds has shown us that they can play this map, right? They're not going to be entirely confused.
I mean, if you look at the maps they simply go to, this is one that's within their top picked veto-wise. At least they do play it a lot, but it may not yield the best results in comparison to you look at Navi, who obviously play very high-tier teams on a regular basis and still deliver. So that's a comparison, at least stat-wise, but new look coming out from ENCE as they do have Alu up on the op. He's over by B currently, just keeping control of the apartments. He does mean, you know, or at least it does allow then X7 to start playing a little bit more attentively towards short. This could be a nuisance down the line for Navi, but they've been given a lot of room towards window. No one actively playing. You got Alexi B over by the jungle side. But again, this gives Navi plenty of space in middle. This is a dangerous game you're playing here.
All 5 players in mid as well for Navi. No one spread out on the extremities. Now they're fortunate no one from ENCE is pushing. And coming up through the underpass, 3 players. Flamey is going to stick around on catwalk. Electronic is waiting just outside the window, boosted up onto the roof. So he can jump in window late when Alexi B rotates over. It's Alu and X7 who are going to be challenged, and Alu's got that op. So this is it's going to be very telling how Navi tries to take this corner. If they lose someone to Alu, remember they don't have any smokes. They have 2 flashbangs. They're not even going to use one. Zeus just trots around the corner like there's no care in the world. Molotov is going to be out. X7 is here to protect him as well. And this is beautiful from ENCE or sloppy from Navi. Take your pick.
Navi setting up for rotates that they aren't causing. Electronic could be a nuisance, but it's been seen. It's done. That's not the game plan. Now you've got CT being brought back around by Sergei, so he's going to try and catch anyone working through that window, but actually they've fallen off this. The only player towards the site is Flamey. He got himself in there relatively early. This could be a problem. Maybe not. It's shut down. That felt like it had no spine to it. From Navi, as you said, just stepping out carelessly or just not with the same process that we've seen teams going with before. That's a round you're happy with if you're ENCE. You're just feeling like where was the spark to that? Where was the push? Where was that punch?
Only 3 players have died on ENCE in the past 3 rounds. They are really not giving up a whole lot to Navi, and that's probably why you're seeing this timeout come, because it's not just that it's 5-0, but it's pretty convincing. Outside of that second round where they lost a couple players when they'd already really secured the round win no matter what, they've been solid across the board. Navi, no one really producing for them early on here on Mirage. We're going to get a small investment from Navi, so they go for one of these 4 spies. CZs are out. They have 1 AK-47 on Flamey. Simple saving for the AWP. He's sitting at 3,400. He could invest a little bit, but not too much. UMP picked up by Zeus as well. So bringing some elements of danger, but Navi's got to get started soon. Simple buys the deagle right at the end of the freeze time. Alexi B is going to drop. He wants to get aggressive in mid, but decides against it. Maybe felt like his timing wasn't there. This is going to be looking fast-paced. Two players running up catwalk very quickly. Edward going to jump in towards window. Alexi B didn't spot him over the smoke. We saw him. Spam coming through. Damage being dealt. They're not aware of this position in the window, though. There's Alexi B, and he can't even complete the kill on a Simple. Gets the dink, but can't complete the frag. Two players still here at the A bomb site. Alu with the ult, and he's got the first. That's the bomb as well, but look at the positioning from Edward. This is going to be so deadly.
This is so hard to handle. Sergei's trying to deal with the players coming out from Palace. There's still one more there. Flamey still alive. Electronic does find it. Edward being the nuisance, holding back the rotate, and there's the shutout. That's not the round you expect to be going Navi's way, but it is.
Picking up the pace, getting a lot of pressure applied early, and ENCE just couldn't react appropriately in time. First round on the board for Navi with that switch up. And also able to get some free weapons out of it as well to help out with that kind of investment with the bank. Alu gets this first kill onto Navi. Onto Simple, takes him down, that's the bomb. Still tough to rotate over when you had so many players in mid with that kind of pace. 3 players continue the pressure on towards A, and 2 get in clever spots to cut off rotations.
Alexi B quick to short. Alu trying to support from window, but the smoke's gone up now, and Navi begin to mount, but to spot it out, he doesn't want to overstay his welcome. Alexi B backs away, and Edward, the veteran, picking up the pace again. Maybe this is just the answer to what they feel they've been threatened with, is picking up pace, take those fights, try and win those duels, but this is a scary predicament to go in towards. You're depending on individuals, and Edward so isolated, no one there to trade off him, no pressure coming elsewhere. He's just sacrificed.
This time, ENCE uses a lot of utility early on when that fast pressure comes out, just to be able to slow it down, just to be able to stop it and kind of pick their battle. And Alexi B obviously picking the correct one, finding Edward looking in the other direction. And now Navi has to fall back, and they have to rotate around through T-spawn.
Look at the ramp aggression. We saw that in, not the last round, the one prior. We didn't really see it coming through too much, but I don't know if Navi are fully aware that this is a possibility. Considering how cautious Simple's being, it feels like maybe in the back of their minds are going through the checklist. And Shadow shows first. Aerial just about staying alive for now, trying to back away carefully. He does have Sergei's support, so Molotov goes in. Good to buy some time. You can see their minds now taking through, okay, Palace is the next problem. Flamey burns alive.
That is a massive mistake, and that should be the round over from here. Electronic's gonna go down. Simple finally gets a kill under the smoke, but they've been pushed back. Yeah, that aggression, I was gonna say, you can see the Shadow very early in that, and Simple just couldn't get the angle quick enough. He had to be cautious. This would be a 6th for Edson. Simple's getting wrapped upon, and he kind of realizes the possibility, and now he's thinking he needs to save this gun, but he also knows they're going to apply pressure. They want to take this away, although they don't have a great economy to go hunt it down with so many players, and I think they might allow Simple to find a pocket to keep the gun in his hands, although Aerial is pushed up. There'll be another buy in the next round from Navi. With him saving this up, Edward can get an AK, so can Flamey and Zeus, and Electronic might be stuck on utility, but ENCE has all the answers, which is surprising for a team coming in relatively inexperienced at this level.
It's just, for me, it's like you look into these guys recently, you look at their recent results, what you've seen, it's like, okay, they occasionally do well, they do quite nicely for, within, maybe tier 2. They've been pushing some nice results, we've got some big players in there, obviously Alu coming in. But you don't expect this level of performance, especially against the likes of Navi. This bodes incredibly well for these guys. And it's not just been one day we've had a really good game or one player just has one of those crazy days. You've now had 2 players individually stepping up quite nicely, but Simple here, looking hungry for this. You gonna go for that again, X7? Nah. But they're already close on ramp. Keep eyes on this one. Sergei this time on top of the ladder. Gotta be a bit careful. He does have the support of Alu. Don't think he spotted out the arm there either. He might have had a call of, hey, there might be someone here. The reactions are so good from Alu on the adjustment. Sergei now prepares himself. He's just trying to stay alive and be a nuisance, allow Alu to play off the back of it. But it is gonna be Flaming stepping forward towards Sandwich. Gets there just fine. That's gonna be 1 player removed, but there's still 4 more to go.
Yeah, and Aerial's going to be here just holding the line, completely blinded. Flashbangs coming up all over the place. Flamey wins that battle. Alu's next. He cannot stop the cross into the site. That's X7, going to spam through, gets a little bit of damage onto Electronic. Can't complete it. 1 jumping up. Simple trying to get involved in the action. The bomb is in Flamey's hands. He still hasn't made it into the site. He's got to give up a valuable position close up towards the staircase. Peering for the edge of the smoke, and he's taken down through the box, and that might be the turn of the round that ENCE needed. Bomb on the ground, Simple and Electronic far away. They have no utility. They've got to fight their whole way to the bomb. And Simple looking for 1 more peek from ENCE. It's not coming. Everyone being patient, everyone being disciplined on this defense. A 3-on-2. They don't want to give anything up.
This is where players like Simple, though, can dig you out of situations, even if they don't go for a nice way to swing out on it, but it does bring it down to a 1v1, and they know where X7 was. He was the player who took down Electronic, so position duly noted. Simple now, very good in these spots. Does get spotted out as well, though. Spots him dropping down. This is a real back and forth, but Simple, so deadly like this. Toyed with him, though. This isn't looking scared at all from X7, and maybe he should be. Tagged up, he's taken down to absolutely nothing. Simple fighting tooth and nail for it. Finally deals with the threat. But that was getting a little close for comfort.
You could see the tension release in Navi as well watching that. They needed that round desperately, and when you have the best player in the world on your team, you need him to deliver in moments like that, and he's got them started, and this is going to be a sketchy buy from ENCE. Navi, despite the struggles to start this in the first 8 rounds, they can actually get right back into this game very quickly. If they can win this one round, it shatters the economy. This is huge for Navi. Good round from Simple, obviously. And even X7, to be fair, he played that about as well as you possibly could against Simple, really making him miss some shots, making him feel uncomfortable, forcing him back, making him give ground, but still can't win out in the end. Timeout from Navi really is the exclamation point of how important this means to them.
Bear in mind, even though that was the round on the board for Navi, that was a Simple moment. Any other player in that situation, you're probably not going to get that. You might, I mean, Alu did get them out of a 1v5, but beyond that, it's very rare you're going to have a player be able to dig you out of those instances. Now, how do you replicate that? Well, that's the question. How do we not have to be forced into those situations in 2v3s that we don't have favor in? We're yet to really see a potent T-side from Navi that's not just dependent on Simple going pretty much above the Call of Duty for it. Now, smoke towards window. Alu this time in towards the lower side of things. They do still have a buy here, but Alu instantly finding Zeus. Doesn't take that much damage for either, down to 50.
Question is, how does he get back? He's going to try and smoke himself off. There's 2 players at top mid. He's kind of stuck. He's going to go right back and face Electronic, and he's going to lose that battle. He's got the information. He's got a tag, but that's an M4 gone. That is one of the valuable weapons. Alexi B looks like he wants to try and go retrieve it. This is a risky play, but he does not want to be stuck with just a pistol, but actually the aggression from X7 as well in those B halls. They can sandwich Electronic. They're going to double peek him from 2 different angles. He's got the attention. There's the UMP. That's beautiful. Simple waiting for the follow-up, and X7 might have overextended, but still a 3-on-2.
This level of small bits of team chemistry coming in is wonderful to watch. Alexi B is kind of screwed, though. He's going to have to fight his way out, whichever way he decides. You pick Edward or you pick Simple. Your feet are going to show Alexi B. You've been cut off at the heels. And Simple, again, 2 kills. Is he digging them out of this situation that somehow they've been put into? But Sergei on the position. This is massive. Right around the back, he's going to be at the top of mid. Spots one, but he only has the SMG. Any other gun, that would have been perfect. But Simple, again, delivering on all fronts, doing everything he can for this side. Edward does close it down in the end, but that was 3 kills that Simple just banked for them.
Yeah, that's so close to still being in the favor of ENCE. That flank almost comes in. I think he just wanted to hold that trigger just 1/2 second until he really figured out what he was going to be looking at. 3-6 as Navi have fought themselves. They've clawed themselves into the economic advantage now. They really have earned this one. Perhaps off the back of Simple here. Even able to sandwich, as you can see right now, Alexi B not making the decision quick enough of which direction he wanted to fight. He knew Simple was in those halls. He knew Edward was in mid. He had to pick one of them. Indecision has struck him down. Now, the swing out from Navi as they take mid control. Simple and Edward combining. There's the MAC-10 getting involved, and the USPs have no chance.
Failing in comparison. And we are right back at the door. Navi closing the gap. ENCE bringing in a good game, but they've, you play against a team with Simple in it, you're going to end up feeling that eventually. And you can kind of gift him a hell of a lot of credit for this one. He is working for that paycheck here. And it better be a big one. Money going to be at least relatively available for ENCE. Not ideal by any margin. No AWP for Alu, no kits to be seen, no Molotovs, but they've shown that they can seemingly work around that. We'll see what Navi can do. They now have the advantage. They have a nice upper hand in at least the monetary situation. No AWP yet out either.
More mid-aggression. They had some success with it. They're going to see absolutely nothing. Now they have to hustle back towards this A-bomb site. Sergei is the only one here at the moment. 4 players ready to go, but I think Simple's causing enough of a distraction to prevent the full evacuation of mid-presence from ENCE back to the A site, so Sergei's all alone. Alexi B's just gotten here, but he can't stop anyone from peeking at this angle. That's a big kill. Opening frag goes the way of ENCE, but Edward has got the trade, has him pinned down behind the boxes. Nowhere to go in that spot. And now they have the bomb site.
I don't know if they can pull off this retake. They have so little utility to put to play. There's no Molotovs, there's no kits. It's got to be quick. spamming away for it. Alu's taking his time, but Simple didn't go on the rotate route that he expected. Simple is going all the way around the back, so that could be X7 down. That could be playing through window. That's so many fullback plans if required. And even saving these guns becomes very tricky with a man like that with a knife to your back. Now, Aerial does find Edward. This could encourage Simple to play, or does he play for the bomb? Continue to listen to the time. It's not got much time left on it, and you're not going to be expecting CT. And Alu going to do what Simple's going to do to them. Now, actually, Simple struck early, but the time is ticking so fast, they don't have time on this. And Simple, again, lining them up and knocking them down. It's down to just Zeus, but he has to do nothing here. Just needs to stay alive, and he does just fine at that.
Simple has put this team upon his back, and it's not necessarily the explosive scoreline that you'd expect from it. It's not like he's got 20 kills already in this kind of an effort. He's 11-7. He's put him on his back with impact kills. Obviously, the clutch that he had, helping to win a 3-on-2 and ending that in a 1-on-1. A couple of kills in the previous round when they were in a tough spot, or 2 rounds ago. And now here with this kind of a flank really secures things, because Navi was losing their grip on this bomb site in the post plant. It seemed like Simple did as well. He also wanted to go through window, it looked like, on his route, but he kind of changed his mind. I think maybe the communication that the bomb was planted in the default spot, he wouldn't have had vision of it, so knowing he has to go through CT spawn. Another buy here from ENCE. M4 on Alu, CZs and pistols on the others.
All off from the ramp aggression. Just around towards B. But Navi taking over mid. They've got plenty this round to put into place. No worries on that front. And the mid aggression continues. They have gone for the B stack here, and so a bit of a gamble in this front. See how far they can make if they get anything out of it. Alexi B might be the first port of call if they do decide to go that way, but it feels as though this bomb is working its way towards that A site.
And that's fine. You have armor, you have, I mean, you don't necessarily need the pistols. You're going to upgrade, or you're going to have the M4s in the next round, but keep the armor. You don't have to respend that cash if possible, and you have the one M4 and Alu that you can obviously help save. So it's a nice call for the gamble stack, just doesn't pan out. It will be tied up 6-6 after this round, and Navi is, this is quite the comeback. This is going to be their 5th round in a row. 6 of the last 7.
They've stabilized.
They have, and sometimes that's kind of the hardest thing to do, especially with how well ENCE played to start this half, and they've kind of, I wouldn't say slipped off, but eventually the money is broken, and now it lies on ENCE, and now the difficulty is, you know, ENCE is at that position where it's so hard to get control of the game back when you just don't have the money. Now that the full losing bonus is going to be there after this round, that's usually what kind of tips it back in the balance. It's a good kill onto Electronic if they can get that weapon, but there's so many players of Navi still around to prevent that, protect the fallen AK-47.
There it is, another one on the board. Navi, road to redemption here. Losing out on map 1, not the best of looks for this side. You kind of expect them to be bringing a lot more to it. We were all kind of, I guess, waiting and seeing what ENCE had really to bring. And we're seeing what they're bringing out this time. Double AWP coming through, so big investment this time. They're putting everything in. It's time to go. Let's see if Navi can do it when they're up against that full buy. Simple has been outstanding for Navi.
Also, if you're tuning in here, remember there is a B stream going on. That's G2 and Astralis. That is just headed into overtime on the opening map. 15-15 on Dust 2. G2 coming back from a 4-11 deficit in that first half. So, much like ENCE, this new G2 roster continuing to impress in this tournament.
And forever Astralis hating playing against French teams.
Yes, there's that.
You know, they're sat there just like, great.
That was like the weirdest kryptonite I think we've ever had in CSGO, is just like this team that everyone beats up on in G2 just was, so, for whatever reason, able to just take out Astralis. It just made no sense. Oh well, double op setup here in this game, 6-6. 2 ops on the defensive side, not on Simple, not on the T side, not attacking. And it's all 5 players for Navi, a set piece towards the A-bomb site.
And all that said and done, there's no one really actively playing towards A. Currently, you've got 2 players towards Connector 1 middle-ish. You have Sergei being very passive towards CT. So if you're going to play Retake, you've got double ops. This is really tough for them to actually work on. This could be the shot that Navi need, and with Edward leading the way, that is a very big step in the right direction. Well, this utility gets put down, and instantly, ENCE are very locked out of this.
I mean, Aldo can't do anything behind this wall of smokes. He's hoping someone walks into his crosshair. He's going to get the chance. He spots him jumping across, but meanwhile, Electronic has caught the flank, and this round's over. One's pushing on top of him. He's standing on him. That was Simple, and Aldo just goes straight up. It's a 2-on-3. This is actually all of a sudden doable-ish. They still have some work to put in. And there's
Electronic's
Alexi.
really far away as well.
Yes, he is. I think he's assuming they're going to save, so he wants to cut off the rotation, but it's Edward who pushes through the window to really secure things. 7-6.
Bit of a misread from ENCE in the end there. Not having any of that AWPing presence towards A, where Navi just did the full hit. That was everything. There's the replay on it. All there. And Alu putting his gun where Simple would rather it not be. 6-7. The purchase going back out for ENCE is a little bit impoverished in comparison to before. It's not quite as flush as you'd like, but it's got a little bit of something to it. Still got the AWP out, but Navi not going so simple this time. Not just going for that A hit. And I say simple, I mean, it's very well constructed, but still, aerial first to fall. Gives away not much really here. Navi throughout the map.
Something clicked in this game for Navi, and they all of a sudden just seem focused. They're not getting caught off guard by anything, any of these pushes, which is nice to see. And they've really calmed things down, stopped getting picked off, stopped making mistakes. Now adjusting towards this B bomb site. Electronic and Zeus going to put out some utility. It's only Alu really at that bomb site on Catwalk as well. He'll have to swivel if he wants to keep an eye out, although X7 has just gotten back in time. Catwalk responsibility falls to Alu, and he will meet that obligation. Good kill onto Edward. But again, Navi going to the other side of the map. They are trying to pull apart this defense, and so far it's worked. 3 defenders at B. It's just Sergei, and he's got a very strong position in Palace.
But is he ready to put this in? He looks like he wanted to move earlier. Now he's going to be sticking around. Simple there. Does get found, but Electronic will show that the bomb was in that place. So again, they have to move fast. There was no one else towards A. Alexi B, if it was anything other than UMP, you'd feel as though he might have a shot at making it very uncomfortable for Electronic to get out of Palace. But actually, they might not commit to this. Oh, Navi. This is mean. This is cruel. This is unusual. They have no idea. They pulled everyone away from this. You've got 20 seconds. You're going to have Zeus push pretty far ahead. You're going to be able to get to see the time here. 12 seconds. You've still got some to spare. Quickly, Alexi B is thinking, wait a minute, there's no one here. What the hell is going on? They're leaving Alu. Excuse me, no, it's X7 they're leaving over by A, but now here comes the bomb to the site. If Alexi B can deny the plant, he gets the tag onto Zeus. That was big. But the bomb will be going down regardless.
There's the shot, and can he recover in time? Zeus doesn't complete the kill. That's huge from Alu, but just unscoped. Zeus continues to attack. Flamey's got to hustle. He's got to get involved. Zeus has low HP, and there he is. The nick of time. And a sigh of relief as Navi again build upon this. They have come back into this match in a big way. This has been a 7-round run from them. Once down 6-1. Now 6-8 in the favor of Navi. Electronic at 12 kills. He's caught up to Simple, who's still at 11. That has got to be the most confusing round for ENCE. They have just got to be like, what is Navi doing? That was almost like a pug strat of just like, what do you think they'll do if we just run to B, then run to A, and then run back to B?
Worked.
Yeah.
So it's
You need
fine.
a lot of time to pull that off, though, don't you?
And they were down to, what, 30-ish seconds when they did call that back to B, so they did have just enough. Alexi B going walkabouts with the old scout. So they're working with less. They're going to try and make something happen with this, but it has been Navi's resurgence that's come back and really made it tricky for ENCE. They've been putting up a good game, but you can see Navi still have that individual prowess that they can just bank upon more often than not. 7 now in trouble. Can't back away cleanly, would get spotted, so he finds a bit of a deeper angle. Mag 7 not quite so perfect anymore, as Simple already outdoes Alexi B. And we're going to see that mid-take in play. Simple again, putting on a show. It's Edward in the back line, is going to be joining in. And it's down to Sergei, who's had a very good game, and he needs to carry that on if they want this round. X7 lurking from the depths, could be able to find one, maybe catch some information. The question is, where is Simple going with that bomb? Sergei finds Zeus. Simple's away towards B, and maybe they're going to be considering this, maybe not. It's very hard to predict.
Simple had the clutch that got Navi involved in this game in the first place. He had the follow-up impact to keep them involved, give them the advantage. Another one here would be great. 1-on-2 situation. And Sergei's got to be careful because he has the M4. His teammate has the shotgun, but if you put X7 with the Mag 7 into a 1-on-1, you have to imagine Simple would win that. 20 seconds left on the clock. Utility comes out. He's just kind of improvising as he goes, and that's perhaps when he's the most dangerous. Swapped out to an AK-47 is X7, and he's coming up catwalk. Simple has got to figure this out. Gotten to the bench now. Crouching behind it. X7 waiting. He's got time. That bomb is newly planted. It's a fresh timer. And Simple just waiting for the indication of where he's coming from. Hasn't even considered Catwalk, and that might be his undoing as X7 is walking along the wall. Simple considering that. Doesn't even want to show himself towards Catwalk, just using this bench as cover for both sides. And there it is. One bullet's all he needed to close it out. 9-6 for Navi. What a recovery. 8 rounds straight to end that half.
That is indeed some real work coming back in on this one. I thought that was borderline getting out of control for the start that ENCE was having. Everything was looking good, but then, as you said, that switch around that came out, this is the early game. That was looking like, you know, traditional Navi. Simple's getting a bit tilted here and there. He's getting frustrated. Things just aren't working out. But then that clutch coming back in was huge.
Yes, I mean, he got them started. Simple basically won Navi the first 3 rounds that broke the economy of ENCE, and from there, everyone else came alive. But, I mean, you want to talk about having, you know, just one of your star players, like, you have to do that at times, is put your team on your back and just kind of carry them through a 3-round stretch while they start to get involved and while they kind of wake up. So that's very nice from Simple, but obviously a good recovery from the Navi squad overall. Cool stat put out, I just saw on the Twitter universe from 16-0 account, which is one of those, you know, really cool nerdy statistic accounts.
How much are they paying for that?
Not enough, Lauren, as always. ENCE hasn't played enough to kind of fit into their sample sizes, but if you just took the data they had, they would be in the 99th percentile of offensive teams of their T-side production. So very dangerous attacking squad. I hope I explained that statistic properly, because, you know, maybe not.
So what you're saying is they're good at attacking?
Yes, what I'm saying is they are good at T-sided rounds, but not when Zeus does that. Double kill for him, and it's all down to Alexi B. In a 1 versus 3, and they know exactly where he is. He's got the bomb on the ground in front of him. He can see it. He's got Flamey softened up, and he now wants to take this head off Electronic, but can't connect the shot, and that might just be the end.
Shut down. Navi building in well now. This is what you want. This is their turnaround. That's the first step to closing out cleanly. Have a lead on the half, get the first on the pistol, and then run with it. But ENCE on the CZ hype here. That's a whole lot of armor with it too. I guess if you know you're against SMGs, you're going to have to. This is going to be interesting. So, Alu in on this as well. Not holding back anything. And 2 smokes.
Yeah, what are you going to do with those 2 smokes? They better be placed in a very awesome position. Ariel's got 1. He's at the base of A ramp, as you can see. Alexi B with the other over towards the B bomb site. So, smoke on each side of the map. At the moment, just making sure no one's pushing anywhere on this Navi side before they make their decision. Alu's at top mid. I think he's waiting for a teammate to join him from underpass so they can try and get some kind of control. They'll have to contend with Simple, who's got the FAMAS in window.
Did Simple see him? I think he might have caught a touch of a glimpse. That nade's gonna hurt though. Oh god, that really hurts. Simple finds Alexi B. And X7 being toyed with Simple, really well controlled in towards middle. And I don't know what the plan here was, but it's certainly not going too well. Alu did catch 1, but you're still against 4 players. And the bomb goes down loose at ramp. Edward looking for the shutdown through middle. SMG to hand. And he does get 1, but the reload takes too long. Navi stabilizing well, 3 alive, good kills coming in. And Simple keeping control of middle.
Yeah, not enough for ENCE to make that a valuable round with that force buy. I would have at least wanted to plant maybe 1 more kill. If they could have gotten Simple without taking both of those losses, they might have been able to force some awkward rotations and get into that bomb site. This nade, I didn't even think it was going to go in the proper place until it actually just drills Alexi B in the back of the head and just falls at their feet. ENCE is ready to get this round over with. No armor, just Glocks, no utility. Rush out Palace, see what you can find. And actually, they might find a relatively weak defense. It is Flamey here, should have a shooting gallery. He's missed a couple shots. He's getting dinged up, actually, but he's bought time. He's trying to stop the plant. It's not going to happen. That's actually a huge win for ENCE to get that bomb down.
Yeah, even a kill. All right, cool. It's not normal that you get away with that.
Yeah, fair play.
But kind of love to see it for them. Navi, though, again, striding now, 12 next to their name.
11 in a row.
It's been a little harsh.
Tables have turned. It looked so good as well for ENCE in the first 7 rounds of this game. It was like, oh my god, they're actually gonna they have a chance of actually doing this, of just knocking Navi out straight up 2-0.
Well, here comes the first real test, at least on the T side, and, you know, stats man over here. Not quite Bruno, but did say they're good on the
in many
attack.
different ways, really.
Yeah. We'll see what Alu can bring. He does have the AWP in hand as well, so that could be a bit of a swing, but on the other side, you do have Simple, and we have mid-aggression coming out as well. Edward sitting anti-flash, waiting for that presence. As soon as contact's made, Likes of Simple will call it. Gets the tag, backs away, swings Edward in. It's a shutdown again. ENCE just falling by the wayside. Navi showing them why they're in this position. Zeus. Not having the best of times at B.
No, but he's got plenty of teammates there to pick up his slack. Electronic ready to trade that kill off, and Alu's already been kind of put in his place with a nice dink earlier, down to 25 health. Gonna try and do something around the smoke. Any kills are valuable at this point, but he doesn't get any. Navi 13-6 on Mirage, looking dominant. That is a very good mid-presence from Navi, and no matter how much utility, no matter how many bodies ENCE threw at it, they all got shuffled aside. And everyone's kind of gone quiet, you know. I mean, it was the similar thing as we said a couple times with Navi, where Simple kind of carried them through a stretch. This is where you want that Dust 2 Alu back and just give you some kind of a miraculous round. You want Sergei to kind of step things up. He's the other big name on this team. And yes, they are young, but someone's going to have to do it eventually if they want to still have a fight into this map. It's looking like it's getting too far out of hand.
Yeah, here comes Smoke. Simple pushes himself in towards the site. He does have the support in Dark, but look how quick this guy is. Peeks one out by Tetris. Electronic swings in, and it is no plant this time. No. Nothing more than that. Not getting it. Navi pushing themselves to 14, looking very much on the edge here.
Electronic 24 kills. Great game from him. Simple at 19. Again, no timeouts from ENCE, I believe. Don't think they've seen him use one.
No.
Papanatu letting his team work through the issues on the fly. You will learn. It's tough love, is what it is.
Oh, I see.
All right, there we are. There's Alu opening things up. That's beautiful. That's in mid. He takes the peek, gets the fight he wants in window. Drops Electronic. That's the heavy hitter for Navi. They have Zeus and they have Edward on catwalk, so Edward's going to get in towards window room through the ladder room, and Zeus is still going to be playing behind those smokes. But how does ENCE kind of try and take advantage of a man-up situation? A-ramp is still smoked off. X7, Alexi B are just poised to go over dead A. Molotov going to get extinguished. Sergei is over in Palace, waiting and biding his time as well. And all the meanwhile, Flamey creeping up closer inside the bomb site.
Flamey needs to be prepared. If they do go for this hit, which they kind of have to, Simple's already pushed up by B, so he's fine over there. He doesn't need to do much about this. They can still hold, but Flamey is put to a big task now. Alexi B alone with the bomb here could get caught out if Flamey really wants to check on this, but he just pulls himself close towards ramp. Edward and Zeus start to pull themselves close, and the flash timing on that is big. It actually catches out Alexi B so badly. Flamey now still being the guardian, but no. Aerial and X7 break through on ramp. That's big from them. It leaves Just Simple, who's quite far away here. And often you don't say Just Simple, but this time it's going to be very hard for him to fight back here.
Don't go for that peek. That was far too close. Oh, God.
What are you doing?
Why have they done that? They have everything else they could possibly need, and Simple he's got a chance now. 1-on-2, and no, Alu at the top mid is there to cut him off, but oh boy. That was frightening. ENCE gets their first round in 13. Oh, it's 13 in a row for Navi before ENCE responded. That is a disastrous run of events for them. 7-14. They can try and fight back. Reinvestment from Navi. Behind this, they still have plenty of cash built up, so it's got to be 2 more rounds in a row for ENCE if they want to break that defensive economy. Have an easier time of getting back into it. Last time they had the benefit of Alu with that opening pick. This time he's going to have to fight against Simple if he wants to go for the peak. Don't think it's going to be as easy, although Simple is blocked off by the smoke now. Electronic aggressive on A-ramp. Here's the footsteps from Sergei. Actually, mid-control this time goes dense. Navi not fighting for it once Simple is smoked off. He's going to switch positions, though, much like last round. He's going to get up with that AWP to peer deep in towards B tunnels. Very similar setup as Zeus and Edward can both focus on catwalk if they choose to. The Electronic and Flamey both dedicated to the A bomb site.
No one offering themselves up here. Edward waiting a little bit further back. Zeus has adjusted himself around. See, they are building up here. But Alu's playing a very dangerous game. He's just hoping that no one takes that swing, and Edward just might. There he is. It's a bit of a gamble. I don't know if you're depending on Aerial to hold it, but he had so much more to worry about as well. Zeus could be the next in line. Aerial, can he adjust? Yes, great work from him. 2 kills go on the board. And 3 stand now for Navi. They still have Flamey Sin towards Dark, Electronic towards CT, and Electronic's been impressive this matchup. Simple lurks as well. Working his way back over. Electronic going to try and get towards Connector, but it's Ramp that he needs to be looking at. He does get traded out. Again, Aerial finding so many integral frags here.
Oh, are they going to expect Flamey underneath? Yeah, they spotted it. They did. They turned just at the last second. It looked like they were not going to consider it. There's Simple striking in, though. Another 1-on-2. He goes for the player, and he gets it. But X7 with the quick peek. Unexpected. Aerial did a great job throughout that round in Connector and support, trading kills off. Did not expect Simple to be jumping through like that. But still, they win it out. Another buy will come in from Navi on the defense. It's 14-8. And this is the one that could cripple their bankroll. We're going to get a timeout, as you can see from them.
I wish people could have seen you doing the little Glock dance then.
That noise was soothing, I thought. It's like Counter-Strike ASMR.
Most people do it to be annoying, so they're like, yes. This is it. This is my song.
Listen, I've already admitted to you a number of times I'm in a rough state today. Just give me a break.
There he is. This is the man going back in. Edward did just take down an Alu then, and we saw the follow-up here on the window towards Zeus. Kind of impressive he adjusted so well, considering he was already pre-aiming towards, I guess, the window, you know, the little ladder room.
That is a wild play from Simple, and if he has time to adjust after that, a real chance at winning. This time, they switch it up. Simple's going to be at the A-bomb site with the AWP. We'll see what he can do. Smokes out. He's going to get aggressive. He likes this play. He's blinded up for the moment. That's dangerous because now they have advanced position. Now they can wrap upon him. He's got to get aggressive. Oh, X7 jumps right over it. He gets the no-scope follow-up anyway. But he is traded. That's the bomb site loss. And Navi, if they don't find a kill quickly, I feel like they might just have to... I just want to save this. They're going to go for it at least initially. Aerial turns from the flashbang. There's one spray down. Can't get the follow-up, but Sergei there for the trade. And now it's a 3-on-2. No kits on Flamey and Edward. They're sticking around for the moment, but there's only so long they can do this. And yeah, now the call comes in. Save the weapons. No use going for it. No use throwing those away. Nicely done from ENCE. They've recovered 3 in a row. Next round, there could be investment. It would just be pistols around these 2 rifles, but it should be obviously a much easier time, especially with that AWP taken away from Simple. But this has been a good stretch for ENCE to stay in this game. We've seen them rise to the occasion a number of times and continuing to do it here. If you weren't tuning into the B stream when I told you to and it got exciting, Astralis has beat G2 in overtime, 19-16 after that comeback.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell. Just looking at the bio, I'd like to reiterate that statement of bloody hell.
It's not great, is it?
No, it's a rough one.
The good news is Simple has saved up some cash. Once that AWP, the full losing bonus isn't in their favor quite yet. X7 just barely misses an opportunity to take his head off early. Nade gonna come out, won't do... Actually, it does great damage. I didn't think it would. He's got to be careful. Electronic has jumped up to be aggressive. I think he spotted the shoulder in that play. And yeah, he knew it was coming. He backs off, but he's still taking damage, and now he's gonna die.
Okay, this becomes the scary part, and you can see the response from ENCE like, oh, let's get towards A now if we can, but there's still threats here. Flamey's there, he gets pushed aside, but you still got Zeus in the back lines. Edward watching from jungle, turns at the wrong time, maybe miscommunication. It was Simple behind him. And then Alu has to be integral here, and this is such a tricky spot to play from. How can he work out all these angles? You got Electronic and CT. Alu watches it, he gets it. But can he do any more? Simple and Zeus still playing this back in. Zeus on the longest way around he could possibly go. Simple lingers out from jungle and it's just on Zeus. This could be 10 rounds for ENCE, and it looks like that might just be the case.
What a sketchy round to recover if you're ENCE. It almost felt like they were just going to be trapped coming up and sandwiched from jungle, but they just do just enough. Losing the player over towards the B bomb site, and they didn't really seem to have a setup to kind of take advantage of the other side of the map, and because they made the decision so quickly, didn't have the utility to put in place to safely get in towards A. It was just a fight the whole route in. Very close to swinging in the favor of Navi, but here comes the next buy, the follow-up. Alu again the saving grace of the Finnish side. Good recovery as he unscopes there, and Sergei with a double kill as well at the end. 14-10 as Navi still trying to stave off this comeback. Electronic gonna get aggressive. Alu's gonna peek for it, he finds it, it's easy. Edward's there as well, he's blind, but now comes Flamey and Connector. He's... Actually, Zeus is gonna get taken out towards that B bomb site. Just a heads-up duel from X7. That's the bomb site lost, and there's a... I mean, it's a long time for the rest of ENCE to get over here, but...
This is tough for Navi. What do? Do you put your players towards B because you lost it, or do you try and bank on the fact you might still... Like, you're screwed. They're done for. Without winning middle and on B, there's no easy path there.
Yeah, there's no quick rotation, and as well with the fact that X7 got in so quickly, and much like on Dust 2, we saw a similar situation. I think it was actually 13-10 on Dust 2 when this happened, but they know at this stage in the game a reset is just going to be so deadly. Choosing to save instead of even seeing what they can find. They have no real, I mean, obviously a 3-on-5, you don't have a great chance anyways when you've already lost the bomb site. But ENCE still fighting here at the end of this game.
I don't know what to make of this now.
It's getting weird.
Yeah, it's got to that point in the matchup where it's like, it gets a little bit scary, gets a little bit worrying. I don't know how well they're going to do in this one if Navi start, feeling the pressure a little bit here. But it has been only a couple of rounds back-to-back, but money becomes the factor. And with Edward holding onto his gun, that's important. And also taking a couple of rifles away from ENCE. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's something. And again, money's still okay-ish for Navi. It's not great. Timeout called in. And Navi again. I don't think we've seen any timeouts from ENCE this entire game.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it, does it?
Oh, maybe I missed him. Honestly.
No, because it's the same thing on Dust 2, so certainly, like, we're too perfect to get something wrong, twice in a row.
Gotcha. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's my logic.
I want to see what they can kind of try and hustle together here for Navi. They have somehow spread the wealth pretty well to the fact of getting Simple up on an AWP. You've got rifles still all around.
Simple still got money in the bank as well, so even if they lose this, he can still, if they choose to go for some kind of a desperate force buy or purchase of some sort, they can have his AWP to go around it.
Kind of hope they don't. Didn't go so well last time.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We'll see. Again, this is a little bit of life in ENCE. This has been the Navi tear for quite some time. It's just that Navi's money does become on a bit of a questionable position. It can really spiral if this keeps getting punished, but that's still a couple of rounds away. If this one gets stabilized, it's Navi on 15 and map 3 becomes looking like an inevitability, but it may not be there just yet. A little run boost coming in maybe. And bomb gets switched over. No one's actually actively fighting middle here. We do have Electronic playing Connector and Edward sitting quite deep on short, so this shouldn't be too much of a bother, regardless if they do this or not. I'm sure Ali's going to take a step out and look afterwards, but there is no one in window.
A slow-paced round from ENCE. It seems like they're expecting some kind of a change of pace from the defense, some kind of a push. They've encountered a couple times. There's the run boost, spots nothing. Flashbang comes out. Probably the worst time for that flashbang if you're an ENCE fan, and they're fortunate to get away without taking any damage. A little bit of confusion on the rotation between Simple and Electronic, as both of them in window room and both of them trying to go through the murder hole, but that's a miss smoke and Connector as well. Here comes Edward. They know he's being aggressive. They heard the footsteps. There's the peek out. He's giving away his position. Molotov to keep himself safe, but it can't keep him alive. Ariel's going to get into 1 HP. He survives. Smoke puts it out. Zeus's position is lost. He's been found out, and he's taken down as well. Now it's all Electronic. Double kill for him, and Simple chimes in, and somehow Navi has staved it off. They've saved this bomb site. It's a 1-on-2 for Alu.
But he's got to know Simple's close by. There was a kill coming in for it. He's just gone for it. I don't know. He's a madman at this point, and it's a 1v2 for Alu that he needs on the board if he wants to give his team a real shot at bringing this game back, but he has so little information. He's got 1 Molotov, 2 flashes. How do you play this out against the likes of Simple? You don't. Simple as that. A little bit better, a little bit faster, a little bit smarter. Simple has it all, and that will be the 15th round on the board for Navi.
What a recovery. I don't know how Navi got there quick enough. Brilliant triple kill from Electronic on the rotation over. Obviously, Simple getting there just in the nick of time as well. They were both so close by to that murder hole. I mentioned the kind of confusion in the rotation it seemed, but it put them close by at the very least. Oh, a trade there would have been glorious, but that's the 3rd kill that really sealed it. Unfortunately for Alu, he gets the bomb planted in the 1-on-2, but because it's so early in the timer, it's Navi who have the luxury of patience there, and they can just wait for the peak, wait for the mistake. Double off setup now for the Navi side. The defense, 1 on Flamey, 1 on Simple. Backs against the wall for ENCE in this map too.
Yeah, and Simple looks like he wants to make it hurt a little bit. Why not? They got a little too close. They pushed you to a situation you didn't really want to be in. You're going to a third map here, and this could still be a very scary situation. Make that mark while you can. Electronic has been doing some incredible stuff for Navi. What he provided in just that last round is something that's going to be in the back of their minds. And already a man to the good ENCE going to have to operate with just 4.
Oh, nice catch. Zeus pushing up with a man advantage. Gets punished for that choice. And here's a standoff. When the smoke clears, who spots the other first? Alexi B. I think he's going to see it. There's the swing out from Electronic, down to 5 HP. Alexi B's just got to stay in connector. He's got to be the pivot point. Simple isn't going to push through window to jungle. It's Flamey, and this is the double up. This is what gets tough. Even though ENCE, they have some utility to use. They can smoke off CT spawn. They have to decide between that and jungle. I think they'll choose CT because of Alexi B's position. The double up is going to be in a very tough spot, though, and Flamey's burning. It took him far too long, down to 2 HP. That's a blunder. He's so close to falling.
There is only 3 alive. In the meantime, Simple did find his kill, so Alexi B still integral as ever, allowing the others to focus in, drilling on the positions they aren't watching. Now Simple up and over, has a look, doesn't see anyone close, but Edward found Alexi B. Here comes trouble. Now everyone's in this alive and kicking. X7 and Alu need something big here. Alu does have the AWP, but the flash forces him off the angle. And Edward can apply pressure now. That's a lot of angles to keep check on. There's one, though. Big fight. Simple goes down. X7 chimes in towards Flamey, and Edward backs away. They've given it up. It's ENCE staying alive.
And they're not done yet. What a battle to stay in that. The 2-on-3 victory, and both ops taken out of the hands of Navi. Now money is going to decide and dictate a lot in this game, and Navi have another decision to make. Remember, they've used all their timeouts. They don't have another one left to call. They've got to do it all on the fly, and I almost think the decision is already made for him. I think you just have to save here. 1,500 on Electronic, 2,200 on Simple. Flamey and Zeus in the mid-3,000s. That's a great pick from Alu. It takes guts to re-peek back into that. Once he's flashed off the angle, you have to be aware that likely Simple is holding that, and I think he just got fortunate with the timing. Simple had given it up after holding for 5 or 6 seconds. Set piece going to come out from ENCE. They have no map control, no map presence. They just want to line up the smokes, line up the nades, hit this A bomb site. And Navi, they're all on the rotate. You can see those blue dots just swarming to this bomb site.
In they go. Flamey gets pushed aside. It's Sergei leading a lot of these kills, but it is mostly against pistols, upgraded or not. Edward is still a little bit of a threat, but he's going to be probably falling off this one first and foremost.
Sergei is legit. 24-19 for him. He's having an awesome tournament. And obviously a good game here on Mirage to keep ENCE in this, keep them fighting back. Alu at 20 kills as well, continuing a good run from Dust 2 where he was spectacular. It's Electronic and Simple leading the way for Navi. 30 kills for Electronic, 27 for Simple.
And as the clock runs out, ENCE with 5 alive, all looking good for them, aside from obviously they're against 15 rounds. So no errors, praying for no miracle rounds from Simple or Electronic for that matter. He's really starting to heat up in here, but at this point, still tricky. What sort of buy are they going to get here? 2.7, 3.1, 1K. Let's see how much they can spread this out. It looks like maybe one player might be working with less. It's Electronic, actually. He's going to be down on the SMG, so a little bit tricky for him in that aspect, but maybe he can find a spot to make it work, maybe a bit of aggression somewhere. Played out towards Palace, played up towards Ramp. We're seeing somewhat of a similar thing coming out actually from ENCE. This is almost mirrored.
Yeah,
now,
rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah, this could go wrong though. Electronic and Flamey in that sort of position can make this very tricky. They don't have much utility though. Electronic's literally got a flash and that's it. So they will need to bank on the likes of Simple being here in time.
Look at Zeus is already rotating over. Zeus has the read for whatever reason, and even Simple is peering over towards that A bomb site. They see nothing. I think they were doing that on a timing of, this is what had happened, and now they just kind of go to rotate back towards B, but they're called back immediately. Electronic, there's the peek, and he can't handle it. Sergei with a brilliant headshot. Same with Aerial. The entrances go their way, but Simple's still around. He stuck around long enough to get that kill. Helped to even things out, but they've got a retake scenario.
Bomb gets planted. Simple can't stop that. 4 players between them. Do they stick for this? Do they try and go for this? Or is it time to back away? I'm not sure what Navi are going to do here because these options are not coming through to them. And Zeus being taken down so low and actually being removed. This only leaves 2 alive. This is time to back off again. Are we going OT here?
We might have an overtime. ENCE has just, this has been a spectacular return. After losing 13 in a row, they have been great. 7 in the last 8 in their own right. That is some beautiful stuff for a young team to be able to recover from the deficit. And obviously, economic issues have plagued Navi down the stretch. It's decided so much. But more so, Sergei has been spectacular coming out of Palace. Great entry from Aerial coming up the ramp that round. Question is, now ENCE has run that tactic about 3 times in a row. What do you do now? Do you,
again.
Yeah, do you do it
they
again?
Don't expect
do you
it
go
again.
away? Because you could see, I mean, they obviously don't know it. We could see it on the minimap. Navi was jumping on that exact play. They missed the timing on it by about 3 seconds, but they were ready for it. Any of those entries that are denied by Navi in that round just allow so much more. If they could have gotten just one of those 2. Ooh, nice little B rush. All right.
There's 3 players here, though. Jason, this could still all go very badly wrong. Edward and Zeus combine. It could be a disaster, and it might just be. They tried their best to adjust something, but it's down to Aerial and Sergei, but they are being removed. This is a huge error.
Oh, they took the risk, and it has not paid off. Although we saw him win a 1 versus 4 on Dust 2. Can he do it here? No, Simple's got him blocked in, and they just barely get away with one. 16-14 in the favor of Navi. That is an impressive comeback from ENCE, and they fall just short.
I mean, that's got to be a little bit gutting for the likes of ENCE. They put everything in towards those final couple of moments. They're trying to work something out for themselves, but
and you can you could kind of tell as well they seem to run out of the playbook, right? They kind of got to the end of it. 3 rounds in a row of the set pieces towards A, a B rush to try and bring it to overtime. I think they were relying on the fact that they'd had so many rounds towards A that they would lure him out. But I mean, even I don't know who called that, whether it was Zeus, whether it was Kane, it could have been Simple, could have been anyone. But Navi knew it was coming.
That's enough from us. Let's head down to the desk after the couple of seconds and hear what they had to say about this one.
ESL One Cologne.